You will forget almost everything that happens today, not because your memory is broken, because it's working exactly as designed. Right now, your brain is holding on to less than 1% of yesterday. The rest is gone, not lost, deleted. Why would a 3-pound organ, capable of holding a lifetime of memories, choose to throw most of them away? In 2017, a neuroscientist named Blake Richards at the University of Toronto, he said, "Forgetting isn't a failure of memory, it's a feature of intelligence. Think about your morning. You woke up, you walked past a wall, you touched a doorknob, you saw 17 strangers on your way to work. None of that survived the day. Your brain didn't fail to record it. It actively erased it. Here's the part that should unsettle you. Your hippocampus, the part of your brain that forms new memories, is also built to destroy them. Researchers at the Riken-MIT Center for Neural Circuit Genetics found something remarkable in 2014. New neurons growing in the adult hippocampus don't just add memories. They overwrite old ones. The birth of a new brain cell can cause the death of an old memory. Every day, roughly 700 new neurons form in your hippocampus. And every day, some of your past quietly disappears to make room for them. Why would evolution build a system that destroys its own data? Because a brain that remembers everything is a brain that can't function. There's a woman known in scientific literature as AJ. She remembers nearly every day of her life since childhood. Ask her what happened on a random Tuesday 11 years ago, and she can tell you the weather, the news, what she ate. Doctors called it hyperthymesia. Only about 60 people on Earth have ever been confirmed to have it. You would think total recall is a superpower. AJ described it differently. She called her own memory non-stop, uncontrollable, and totally exhausting. She said it felt like carrying every day of her life at once, all the time, with no ability to set any of it down. Her brain never learned how to forget, and forgetting, it turns out, might be the thing that lets the rest of us think clearly at all. Consider a much older case. In 1968, a Russian journalist known as S was studied by psychologist Alexander Luria for 30 years. S could memorize impossibly long lists of numbers, decades later, without error. But S struggled with something most people find easy: understanding a simple story's meaning, recognizing a face in a different context, grasping metaphor. His memory was so complete, so cluttered with irrelevant detail, that it interfered with abstract thought. He couldn't see the forest. He could only see every single leaf, forever. This is the trade-off nobody tells you about. Perfect memory and clear thinking may not be able to coexist in the same brain. So what is forgetting actually doing for you? Richards and his colleague Paul Franklin proposed a theory in the journal Neuron. They argued the goal of memory isn't to preserve information, it's to guide future decisions. A brain optimized for decision-making needs to strip away specifics and keep patterns. You don't need to remember every meal you've ever eaten. You need to remember that fire is hot and spoiled milk smells wrong. Forgetting the details lets your brain generalize the lessons. Here's where it gets even stranger. Some forgetting isn't passive fading. It's active deletion, triggered on purpose by your own neurons. In 2009, researchers at Columbia University led by Ronald Davis studied fruit flies and found a group of neurons whose entire job was to actively erase memories after they'd been formed. Not neurons that failed to store information. Neurons whose function was demolition. The same basic mechanism appears to exist in mammals, including us. Your brain isn't a leaky bucket, losing memories through neglect. It's running a maintenance crew, deciding in real time what gets to stay. So, how does it decide? Emotion is one of the biggest factors. A 2011 study published in Science, led by researcher Elizabeth Kensinger, found that emotionally charged events are remembered with far greater strength and detail than neutral ones. This is why you can't remember what you ate for lunch 3 Tuesdays ago, but you remember exactly where you were the moment you heard devastating news. Your brain is making a bet. It's betting that emotional moments are more likely to matter for your survival than ordinary ones. Sleep plays an even bigger role than most people realize. During deep sleep, your hippocampus essentially replays the events of your day, deciding what to transfer into long-term storage and what to let go. A 2013 study from the University of Wisconsin, led by Giulio Tononi, proposed something called the synaptic homeostasis hypothesis, the idea that sleep exists partly to weaken and prune unnecessary neural connections formed during the day. Your brain gets louder and more cluttered with every waking hour. Sleep is when it takes out the trash. This is part of why sleep deprivation feels like mental fog. You're not just tired. Your brain hasn't had the chance to forget what it doesn't need. Should that scare you? That an organ inside your skull is quietly deciding, without your permission, what parts of your life get to survive? Or should it comfort you? Because without this system, trauma would never fade. Every embarrassment, every loss, every small daily pain would sit in your mind at full intensity, forever, with nothing dulling its edge. People with post-traumatic stress disorder often show impaired function in exactly the brain regions responsible for this kind of adaptive forgetting. Their memories don't fade the way most memories do. The past stays fully loaded, fully present, refusing to become the past at all. In this light, forgetting isn't the opposite of a healthy memory. It's a requirement for one. Think about what this means for the version of yourself sitting here right now. You are not a complete record of everything that has ever happened to you. You are a curated highlight reel, edited continuously by a brain that is constantly deciding what deserves to remain. Somewhere right now, a memory of yours is being weakened, a synapse is being pruned. A neuron is quietly deciding that some moment from your past no longer earns its place. You will never know which memory it is. You'll only notice its absence, if you notice it at all. So the next time you struggle to recall a name, a date, a face from years ago, you don't need to see it as failure. You are looking at evidence of a system working exactly as it was built to. A brain so busy protecting your ability to think clearly that it's willing to sacrifice your past to do it. Your memory was never meant to be a museum. It was built to be a filter. And maybe that's the most human thing about you. Not what you remember, but everything you were built to let go of.